All right, so we had already finished comprehension, and now we need to take up the second part, right? So, shall we? Yes, yes. If my voice is cracking, if I appear to be dancing, if you are doing some salsa, you can leave the class once and you can join us again. Okay? Because I believe when this statement keep coming from maximum students, then ma'am, you cannot be heard properly, your voice is not reaching us, then only I may take something. Okay, Satya. So problem may be at your end, right? Or you may wait for my or you may wait for my video. I shall be uploading it so you can listen to it. Yes, who is next? Mm-hmm. Really? Who is this person to join? Samiksha. Okay. How many people are finding my voice to be in cracking mode? Aditya, Shruti, Vivek, Yashmit, Sushant, Durgesh, Shweta Yadav, Harshit, Ragini, Shivendra. Maybe because maybe because the people who are saying such things, maybe there can be some network issue at their end, right? So not an issue. For now, I can say that do not worry. I'll be continuing with the second part. You also can continue at your own pace. Read it and look up for the tough words, right? So we all can. In any case, in any situation, if still you find my voice to be cracking, then leave the meeting. Not an issue. You can check out the video later on, where I'll be uploading in minutes after the class gets over, right? So should we begin our lecture? You know. Mm-hmm. Chalo. I'm a witness that these two people were there in the meeting, so I mean, never mind, right? So, yes, the origins of Indian cricket are to be found in Bombay, and the first Indian community to start playing the game was the small community of Zoroastrians. Zoroastrians is a community, right? Like this, like the Muslims, like the Hindus, right? So, Zoroastrians, the Parsis. Zoroastrians, who are these Zoroastrian people? The Parsis. Those who believe in Zoroastrianism, those who believe in Zoroastrianism, they are Parsis. Now, so yeah, so let me reread the lines. What Zoroastrianism has to do with cricket? The origins of Indian cricket are to be found in Bombay. It originated basically roots basically were found back in Bombay first, and the first Indian community to start playing the game was the small community. So the Parsis were the first who were the followers of Zoroastrianism, and then brought into close contact with the British because of their interest in trade, and the first Indian community to westernize. The Parsis founded the first Indian cricket club. So it was the Zoroastrian people who got in touch with Britishers. How? Because they too somewhere were involved in the business of trade and commerce, and then second reason became this cricket. They also played cricket, so that's how they both connected somewhere. The Oriental Cricket Club in Bombay in 1848, right? So this cricket club was also founded in Bombay in 1848. Now Parsi clubs were funded and sponsored by Parsi businessmen like the Tatas and the Wadias. Have you heard these names? Ratan Tata, right? I've I've heard about both, and these people are Parsi people, right? So they were businessmen, and the white cricket elite in India offered no help to the enthusiastic Parsis. So back in the 1848, when this game was so much liked and played by the Parsi community, they did not receive any help from Britishers, our rulers, uh, at that time, and so they had to fund their own cricket club, Oriental Cricket Club in Bombay. It was funded by, sponsored and funded by, rather like Tatas and Wadias, and they received no help from the Britishers. In fact, there was a quarrel between the Bombay Gymkhana, a whites only club, and Parsi cricketers over the use of a public park. Right? So I hope I need not to explain this line meaning again, as it is very simple and you can also make meaning out of it, right? Second feud was this: they had a quarrel, they had a strong debate over the use of a public park. Public means like Company Garden is a public park. It is not a personal park. It does not belong to a personal, uh, a person. It does not belong to me. It does not belong to you, right? It is open for all. Anybody can go. Am I making some sense? Is it clear? Hmm. So the Parsis complained that the park was left, right, that the park was left unfit for cricket because the polo ponies of the Bombay Gymkhana dug up the surface. All right. So, what was the cause of the quarrel? Because of this uneven surface, which was created by the people of Bombay Gymkhana, Parsis were infuriated. They were totally in anger, and they did not like it. So they raised their voice. When it became clear that the colonial authorities were prejudiced in favor of their white compatriots, the Parsis built their own gymkhana to play cricket in. So very soon they got this feeling that maybe because not maybe, they somehow felt sensed that these Britishers are discriminating. They do not want to treat Parsis equally, and they are being partial. So they created their own cricket club to play cricketer on it. Now, the rivalry between the Parsis and the Bombay Gymkhana had a happy ending for these pioneers of Indian cricket. A Parsi team beat the Bombay Gymkhana at cricket in 1889. So eventually, this quarrel and this, uh, you know, um, this disagreement, this feud over the public park actually had a very happy ending, since it gave birth to two teams, and fortunately in future Parsi team uh, had won a match against the Bombay Gymkhana people. A Parsi team beat the Bombay Gymkhana at cricket in 1889, just 4 years after the foundation of the Indian National Congress in 1885. Now have a look at this pic. What do you see in this picture? So many people are dressed up in a particular kind of uniform. It may be, their team's uniform for playing cricket, right? Look at their upper garment and the garment which they are wearing at the bottom part. It all looks so alike, similar. One man at the back and one man at the left side seems to wear a different one. They may be the umpires, maybe the jury members, right? The Parsi team, the first Indian cricket team to tour England in 1886. Note that along with the traditional cricket flannels, they wear Parsi caps. So, all of them are wearing the traditional Parsi cap. Can you notice on their heads? If you're carrying your books, you can see in the picture as well. Now, Indian National Congress was an organization that was lucky to have amongst its early leaders the great Parsi statesman and intellectual दादा भाई नारोजी, है ना? ये जो थे ये दादा भाई नारोजी he belonged to the Indian National Congress in 1885, right? And he was also a Parsi. So, modern cricket is dominated by Test and One Day internationals played between national teams. The players who become famous, who live on in the memories of cricket's public, are those who have played for their country. The players Indian fans remember even now are those who are fortunate enough to play Test cricket, right? So, even uh, the audience, the men, the women, the children who have observed these people playing cricket at that moment, they still remember these names and they recall and they can recollect, right? But the present form of cricket has uh, now, if I talk about the current present, so it has so many different forms, adding to the one days and the test matches. Not only test matches and one days are left, now we have 2020s, now we have uh, what we have premier leagues of not only India but of other nations as well. So so many things have been changed, but the form of cricket, it's more or less remains the same. This picture in your front, it is belonging to Palwankar Balu. Palwankar Balu, born 1875, at a time when Indians were not allowed to play Test cricket, he was the greatest Indian slow bowler of his time. Okay, so he was master of slow bowling. He is a bowler, and as he was a bowler also are important part of a team. How many different team members we have in a cricket team? Can anybody guess what different roles does an 11 team member play in a cricket match? Who can tell? Ma'am, we have proper batting order like we have other people. It is a combination of wicket keeper, it is a combination of bowlers, batsmen, and people who can do variety of bowling, say uh, one can be spinner, one can be fast bowler, one can be what one can seam the ball so well, one can swing the ball so well, one can be a master of Yorkers and Googlies, right? Are you even listening to me? Because there's a drop silence. There's a drop silence. So I'm presuming that I don't know if the text is, if you people are satisfied with my explanation, right? If the text is understood to you, then keep nodding in between, not in roar, but in slight sounds like, okay, ma'am, yes, ma'am, right? So that's how Indian cricket used to be in that era, right? And the players Indian fans remember even now are those who were fortunate enough to play Test cricket. Yeah. Now, C.K. Naidu, an outstanding Indian batsman of his time, lives on in the popular imagination when some of his great contemporaries like Palwakar Vittal and Palwakar Balu have been forgotten. Even though Naidu was past his cricketing prime when he played for India in its first test matches against England starting in 1932, his place in India's cricket history is assured. His place in India's cricket history is assured because he was the country's first test captain. Who was the country's first test captain? C.K. Naidu. Correct, correct. He somehow managed to remain in the Indian cricket for a longer period of time, maybe because of maybe because of his Test captaincy, right? Now, India entered the world of Test cricket in 1932, a decade and a half before it became an independent nation. Okay, so India entered the world of Test cricket in 1832 and a decade and a half before it became an independent nation. This was possible because Test cricket from its origins in 1877 was organized as a contest between different parts of the British Empire not sovereign nations. The first test was played between England and Australia, when Australia was still a white settler colony. So it is going back in the history where there is a good record of so many matches, be it a test match between uh, India and England, or maybe between England and Australia and with other nations. So they are highlighting that how British Empire was consistently involved, and they had a good experience of playing this game. And the first test was played between England and Australia. And the interesting fact was when the match was played, Australia was still a colony to Britishers, right? Similarly, the small countries of the Caribbean that together make up the West Indies team were British colonies till well after the Second World War. Then we have evidences where, again, the team of West Indies had matches with British, and West Indies itself was not a single state, it was a combination of uh, different places of the Caribbean continent, right? And they together formed the team of West Indies. Do we have West Indies team till today? We very much have this team playing cricket, international cricket, till date. And one, can you name any famous player of West Indies? There are so many to name. I'll begin with Vivian Richards. Vivian Richards. Have you heard this name? Hmm. Bran Lara. Heard? Yeah, Chris Gale. All these legendary cricketers are from West Indies only. All right, now our second comprehension check is here, and and we should take it. Write true or false against each of the following sentences. India joined the world of Test cricket before independence. Yes or no? Correct. 1932 it is, so it is definitely true. Yes. The colonizers. Acha, who are the colonizers? Name the country. Very nice. And the country? Very nice. Very nice. England. England. And the people who were from England, they were addressed as Britishers. British, right? So, and who was the colony? Colony is unlike then is unlike to colonizers. Colonizers is uh, it indicates the people who are ruling over that region. So they were the colonies. Say India can be a good example of colony. uh, then Africa, then a small Nigeria. You know, these can be the examples of colony, and the rulers, the colonizers, can be the England people, right? The Britishers. So the colonizers did nothing to encourage the Parsis in playing cricket. True or false? Very good. Palwakar Balu was India's first Test captain. False. It was CK Naidu. It was CK Naidu. Yes. Now Australia played its first test against England as a sovereign nation. Yes. Yes. So I hope that this chapter is getting very much clear to you, and it's a rather factual and interesting one, right? It's so interesting to know about these facts. These are not stories, but these are facts, right? So that's all for today, children. I shall take up the next one on Monday, and probably we'll be finishing up this chapter on Monday. I wish you a very happy, good day ahead, and kindly keep sending your work I'm still very liberal, and I just pray that may maximum of you send their work before the PTM arrives and comes. It takes place because I'll be talking in person to your parents, and I really wish to sound good to your parents, right? So I wish you all a very good day ahead and keep reading, revising, completing your work. Okay, shall catch you on Monday. Thank you.